Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian. And in today's video, I'm going to do this. I've not done this before in terms of the way I've done a review, but this is the Lethal Weapon box set. Yes, I'm going to review it all together. I've watched these films like just one after the other, and I absolutely love them. I've just put them together, I thought, as a whole thing rather than going through each individual film. I think just to maybe to emphasize that how they all fit together in many ways. And I know I'm going to go on about the criticisms and all sorts about it, but I won't dwell on a lot of that because I know that they're. I'm going to look at the reason why I think these are such great films and why you wish you said, why can't action films be a lot more like this in the way they are? You know, I mean, sometimes you just see something and you think, wow, this has got so much more than what you're, you know, expecting in an action film. And I was the same. I came into these thinking, oh yeah, it's just going to be a typical buddy film, but not with great deal in it. But it turns out there's a hell of a lot more. Yes. So we are going to look at, in this box set, Lethal Weapon 1, which came out in 1987, Lethal Weapon 2, which came out in 1989, Lethal Weapon 3, which came out in 1992, and then there's a bit of a gap, and we get Lethal Weapon 4 in 1998. And they have certain things in common in terms of the director, for instance. The director is Richard Donner. What a director he was. Fantastic director. And it's his vision in many ways that, as with the actors, which really make these films so special, I think. Because Richard Donner's got such a wonderful career. I just was looking at it, but I mean, for me, he was the Omen director, 1976, and of course, Superman, the movie, 1978. Now, and controversially, he was fired from Superman 2, and it wasn't until 2006 that we got his cut of the Superman film out, his vision of what it would have been. And what a fantastic film that is as well, what we see. Wonderful. But that's just a big background to this director. He's a great director. The soundtrack is also the same. We've got Michael Kamen, Eric Clapton, and David Sandberg all doing the soundtrack, and that adds more continuity to the film, and say the production team and everything behind it. I think the thing that we should look at is why they are successful, and I think it's to do with Richard Donner getting involved in the scripts which are the important part of the film, the original script which came along, and then in developing that and all the continuity throughout the 4 films, because there is that continuity and the vision. And the thing is, the scripts, he wasn't afraid to rewrite, to develop, keep going all the time. He's a director who was very much hands-on in terms of this. He knew what he wanted, and he got this, and the actors were on board. Mel Gibson as Riggs, and Danny Glover as Murtaugh. Well, they were all on board, you know, totally. They saw what this film was about, and that's great. Um, Now, in the first one, we've got Gary Busey as the sort of guest star that stands. Then in two, we get introduced with Joe Pesci. Also, incidentally, we've got Joss Ackland and Patsy Kensit. Even, yeah, Patsy Kensit appears in number two. Number three, we've got Joe Pesci again, and then the brilliant Rene Russo. She appears in this film. She is fantastic in it. And then in the fourth one, the final one, we get Joe Pesci again. We get Rene Russo again. Then we get Chris Rock, yeah, and Jet Li. I mean, wow. These all just add so much to it. Now, these films are really essentially about friendship, about family, about loss, about getting old, even. So we can all understand that one, can't we? Yeah, but you know, these are active police officers who see a lot of things, go through a lot of things, risk their own lives in many ways each time. And they've all got these issues as well in their lives, and that is going on, and that is an important part. But the way that they grow to support each other and love each other, if you want to put it like that, and the way the family and it all fits in beautifully all in these films. And yeah, we've got this massive canvas because we've got all these action scenes. These are spectacular action scenes that you can't believe that are there in front of you. They just all these explosions and car chases, and yet I say with all that you've got a depth and you've got the crime stories going on about what, and there's some issues which I'm sure is interesting to some people. I mean, you've even got, because this is the time before South Africa, certainly in the early films, the apartheid issue is there and used quite cleverly in the film. This is in the second film, particularly. It's brilliant, absolutely superb. Um, and I love how all these things are brought into the stories. You've got, you know, just the normal things, he says, you know, in sort of big crime stories, you know, whether it's money laundering, drugs, all these kind of things, racketeering. It's all in there, and it's all put together beautifully in front of you, and you're gripped into the story. You're gripped into, you know, wondering what's going to happen. How do they survive? Yes, this is wonderful, the way we see it and the way the director is able to get all this across. The energy as well in the action scenes. But then we get the pathos. We get the family scenes and how all this develops. And it's wonderful. Their relationship. You like an observer seeing how this relationship develops from the very first film right through to the fourth film. And it works so well. I know there are people who are going to criticize Lethal Weapon 4. I'm not going to criticize it as much. I know there were problems with the script. I know it had a lot of rewrites and the schedules with the filming and everything. And I've got no problem at all in this at all. You know, I think it's a beautiful ending. I really do. And I love it. I loved it as much. And we've got Chris Rock and Jet Li as guest stars again in this, and they work well in the film. And of course, and I think Rene Russo and Joe Pesci are great. They just add more to it all, and I love it because there's a scene right near the end when they take a photograph of all of them together, the big family photo, and isn't that a wonderful ending? No, I'm being serious. I think it's a beautiful ending to the films, and that's why, in a way, now I'm really pleased. I haven't gone into so much detail through each film. If you've never seen these films, like I haven't, and everybody apparently has seen these films apart from me, but I recommend just seeing them as a whole, 4 films together. I think it's great. You know, I think it's great for a franchise to have this. Now I know that Richard Donner was involved in doing, well, a 5th version of this, continuing it on. I'm not sure that it's a good thing, but he unfortunately died in 2021, and apparently Mel Gibson and Danny Glover had agreed to reprise the roles. Again, I'm not sure about this. The reason I'm not sure is because it wasn't going to get a theatrical release. It was going to be on some streaming service as well. What I've heard on the latest, I don't know much more, is that Mel Gibson is saying he's going to direct it as a tribute to Richard Donner, and that filming should be going on now, this year, in 2023. I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about it, really, because I love these films so much, and I would hate them to mess the memory of all this up. You know, I really would. Even though Mel Gibson is a good director, is involved in this, I just wish they'd left it alone. But I shouldn't really criticize them for that. But I can't help it, because I've just experienced in this, and I love it so much. And I thought the ending was great on Lethal Weapon 4. I don't think we needed any other conclusion ending to it. I just think it's sad that they do that. I don't want to ruin these films by doing that. But I mean, the fact that they're not even going to give it a theatrical release says a lot as well. Anyway, I don't want to go. I'm sounding negative. I don't want to go on, because I'm positive. This series is fantastic. I loved it. And, people say, oh, rank the films in certain order. Obviously, the first one is always the one that stands out more. But with this, I think they all merged together. I watched them all, and I thought they all followed each other. In a way, it's a great way to watch them. You're seeing them all develop, and, I like that. I think if there was one that was perhaps slightly weaker, but only slightly for various reasons, would be perhaps the third one, maybe. But even that, I don't really want to be negative on it, because I think that's as good. And then it's got Rene Russo introduced into it, and she's great. I really loved her performance in it, and she was the right decision to cast as well, in terms of her relationship with Mel Gibson's character Riggs. I think he's great. I love that relationship, and it's so sweet the way they've done it. It really is. It's beautiful. So I'm getting carried away, but yes, I believed in this trilogy, and so Sean, thank you so much for sending this to me. I'll just show you again the actual box set. Here it is. It's on Blu-ray. I don't think these have got a 4K release, but I am really more than happy with these. I mean, what a set. And here it is. As I say, it's got a slipcover. It's a solid one, and we've got all the 4 films. See the 4 films in there. Some good extras on each individual one. Absolutely, just so recommended. Look, doesn't it look good as well? It looks fantastic. And then you see you've got the back with all the, blurb about all the films there. Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. And that's it. I know I've not done quite like a normal review that I do, but I just wanted to put them together, and I think that's how much I love these films already. Isn't it great discovering things that other people have known about, but I haven't, Honestly, this is just fantastic. I can't say more than that, really. And that's it. That's the end of me going on. Yes, I've gone on too much, haven't I? But I can't. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and then we'll let you know when I put more of these videos out on all the things that I love and enjoy. And I always try and be positive, and I am, I hope. And if you like this, please give it a like, and it helps with all algorithms, and hopefully more people then might actually, you know, try out one of these things that I'm doing. They might not like it. I don't know, but it all costs no, so you can't say further than that. And if you've got any comments, please put those comments down. I love to read what you think about these films as well. Maybe you don't feel the same as I do, but I do. I'm just showing my enthusiasm because I was so impressed. I thought, I've got to do this video like this. I really have. And that's it. So, all I got to say is, I'll see thee again.